He decided to accept the offer and he came back. And with that, we didn't lose our customer. And since then, I post within the room a sentence says, customer is always right.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm your host Zakriya Al Azizi. I'm a senior business performance analyst from the Global Business Services function here at Ookyo. Today, our guest is a disciple of the principles of service, a process optimization enthusiast, and a proud father of two. I'm proud to welcome Zakriya Al Azizi, Acting Head of Service and Performance Management from the Global Business Services. Welcome, Zakriya. It's nice to have this chat in a studio for a change. Could you tell us about yourself?
Thank you, Zubair, for having me here. It's a pleasure. So a little bit about myself. My name is Zakriya Al Azizi, a father of two, Tamim and Umar. I live in Muscat. My hobbies, like many, like to play football, like to score goals, and always win.
Always? Always win?
I'm trying always my best. But during the pandemic, unfortunately, I couldn't play. You know the situation, and I had to look into something else, which I found myself more into the hiking, which is really interesting, especially when you visit new places within the country and you get to know about them. It's really interesting. As for my career, I have a bachelor degree in process engineering and master in business management. And I have been with the group since 2008 across different functions in technical and non-technical. And I'm acting head of service management department within global business service function.
That's quite an interesting life you lead, Zakriya, and a diverse set of experiences. I like how you switched into the hiking and started exercising more during the pandemic, unlike many who have just stood idle like myself and started gaining weight. So now I'm interested more about your job history, starting with your first job. If you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, I have started my career in 2006 in banking sector. It was in customer service function, which I believe I was really lucky to start there and learn especially the basics of customer service and gain the skills like the communication, listening to the customer, having self-control, and having a positive attitude. And I believe I was very lucky. Then in 2008, I moved to the group, which was in Sohar Refinery, then in MAF Refinery, across different functions. Then within the integration, I get to know about global business service, and I immediately joined the team.
Which brings us to the interesting part of this conversation. I wanted to shift our focus into what the team you mentioned, the global business services, and I hear it's a pioneering work at the finance strategy team. Tell us about the current team, Global Business Services.
Yeah, so Global Business Service is a centralized service delivery model that encompasses shared service outsourcing and center of excellence to serve multiple business units. Our vision in GBS to be the leading organization within Oman and within the GCC to be the leader. One of the leaders, I mean. We aim to achieve this by being the engine of change, by utilizing artificial intelligence, innovation solutions, and to deliver high quality products and having as well exceptional customer service and adding great value to our stakeholders. Currently, we are having 6 departments within the function and service management, which are mainly responsible to measure the performance of GBS, where we look into the process of those departments and the services that the function is providing and the compliance of the performance of those with the Hacked Group benchmark. Also, we are looking into the services to our customer and improving the level of satisfaction. In addition to that, the automation, trying our best to automate the processes by having different tools, for example, UiPath tool, in overall trying to improve and change the manual activities to be automated and having efficiency and better performance. Also looking into the market and deep dive into the best practice from the innovation and artificial intelligence.
So Zakriya, personally, what appeals to you in this role, service management?
Well, service management role is really a kind of a unique role, because when you look into the process operation, the service and the management side of it, focusing into mainly three main pillars, the people, process and system. So really it's an interesting part, especially when you start to design, implement, operate and measure. It's become more interesting area. Also, we look into an excellent customer service, and personally, this is something I value. And I enjoy the opportunity to help manage and inspire others to provide excellent service. Yeah.
That's quite great to hear, and especially in a corporate context where service and customer service usually is not a leading embedded principle within sort of day-to-day work. I'm interested to know about the projects you've worked on here at Global Business Services.
Yeah, so within the function, we have many projects to improve the performance and the services. For example, the automation, we did a complete cycle of process, starting from building the demand pipeline through a UiPath automation, which is basically a platform to reflect any idea or a manual processes that we are conducting in a daily basis. And from our side in service management, we assess those ideas and measure the value of it, and of course automate those ideas, and then we measure the return of investment. And the cost avoidance was around 7 million USD. Also last year we have implemented Trendtech Cadency solution, which is very interesting solutions and having great value for the team. It's basically a reconciliation solution to improve the accuracy and efficiency of the financial activities within the stream. Also, honestly, being a project manager is also an excited part of this role, and I gain a great experience in this area as well.
That's quite a journey, Zakriya. Of course, you spoke about the tools and the systematic changes we've introduced in the function. These tools of the future do make a huge difference, like you mentioned. If you could describe the service culture here at Ookyo, and did GPS come in handy encouraging that culture, especially that you've introduced systematic changes that would sort of make it more easy to serve and provide those services you mentioned?
Yeah, well, service culture within most of the organizations always like a journey. You start from scratch, building the pillars of the services, which always take time. In GBS, we managed to build the foundation. Now we are having our service level agreement, also monthly service review with our key stakeholders, and of course to continue measuring the level of customer satisfaction. And in addition, also building a solution to have the proper channel and tracking the requirement.
Could you talk about the service level agreements? It's quite an interesting addition and change that's been introduced at some of the financial operations at Ookyo.
Yeah. Service level agreement, actually, we started the beginning of the integration when we start the function. So we start identifying the processes that each department within the function is providing. And then we look into the measurement and the metrics of each service. And then we signed off this with our key stakeholders in order to align and ensuring that we are in line with their requirements. Yeah.
Exactly. So service level agreements are known to be one of the most effective tools in governing services and how they're provided and the level of quality that are sort of stipulated in these agreements. Now, if we could move on into a more personal experience you've probably encountered. If you could tell us any noteworthy service stories in your career, whether it's recent or way before even GBS.
Yeah, sure. And honestly, there are always funny stories as well, and serious one for learning as well for all of us. I remember in my previous role before joining the group, I was in customer service function, and we used to conduct a weekly service review, mainly to review the customer complaint. And one of them we came across where the customer was saying, I have decided to withdraw my request and cancel the service.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, as he mentioned, because of the request took longer than he expected and agreed with the service agent. And then the surprised part was the committee decided to skip this complaint, and because they presumed that the customer was looking for an urgent service and he wanted to just have it.
This is in Bank Muscat, right?
No, it was in Bank Dhafar.
Bank Dhafar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have decided to go back to the records and check if there was really a request. And yeah, it was there. And
so the agent wasn't right, and the customer in this case.
Yeah, I think the agent, he missed to register request. And
rookie mistake.
Yeah, it can be. It happened sometime. So I went back to the committee and I discussed with them that we need to approach again the customer. And yeah, we called the customer and we apologized to him and offer 40% off for the registration fee and provide the service immediately within the week.
I imagine he was very happy.
Yeah, of course, he was very happy, and he was actually surprised with the call, and he decided to accept the offer and he came back, and with that we didn't lose our customer. And since then I post within the room a sentence says customer is always right. Yeah.
So you hang the sentence for your colleagues to see, saying the customer is always right.
Yeah, of course.
That's quite an interesting story, and of course, living in Oman and in our region, it's always expected that the service is always pristine, it's perfect, nothing goes wrong, but things do go wrong sometimes, and not always on the service provider side. So I'm interested to know more about your encounters with customers, or maybe how would you define a good customer?
Okay.
Or the ideal customer?
To me, the good customer service is when the support is provided through either information or assistant, and of course creating trust and having great environment between the service provider and the customer. An ideal customer to me, I think who is willing to engage and align with our strategy and the purpose, willing to change, and can be served efficiently and effectively.
To compromise, in other words. So sometimes the customer has to sort of work and cooperate, reach out, understand the intricate details, the operations behind the service.
I think, yeah, indeed. Also, I think the customer that would get significant value from our offer and provide significant value to our business in return. This, I think, can be applicable for a person or a buyer.
So taking back what we said about service management, global business services here at Ookyo, of course, introducing the principles of service and having a customer-centric mindset in a corporate context might be challenging.
Mm-hmm.
You have, on one hand, some teams that are receiving that service do not maybe consider themselves to be customers in the beginning. It's something new for them. The service providers also may see that their colleagues, on the other hand, are their day-to-day colleagues. They know them, they deal with them. So the service aspect of things might get diluted, might get lost. So what type of challenges did you come across while managing customers, while providing the service here within Ookyo, or when speaking about service management?
Yeah, I think most of the challenges, at least I have seen either now or in my previous role, and it's a common challenge, I believe, mainly the slow response time from service provider to the customer, sometimes the poor communication for the customer. Also, we have seen also being transferred from one agent to another when you have a call, especially in call centers. Those are common issues, and I have seen them in, for example, in SSON, McKinsey as well, research.
So SSON is the Shared Services Organization Network. It provides analytics and insights around shared service centers and how to deal with the common issues.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked about the level of service, principles of service within Ookyo, the tools of the future you instilled within the team. How do you think outsiders see service culture here at GBS?
From our side, we are always ensuring to get feedback from our customer through different channels that we have built between us, and not rely on that, for example, the survey or written communication only, but ensuring to have face-to-face discussion and in line with our vision from service perspective. According to the numbers and our analysis, we are improving gradually, and even the level of satisfaction with ongoing actions as part of the feedback and business requirements. In overall, yeah, we are in good shape.
That's great to hear. And of course, we all know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility, and with service, there's a lot of power within. Could you tell us something interesting? What's the most interesting part of service management?
Yeah, in service management, to me, the interesting part is when you act like the catalyst to work and ensure the process and services goes in line to serve the customer. Also, the interesting part is to address the process operation issues and plan to support in same time the customer, listening to the challenges from their side as well, and continue working in both sides and ensuring having and improving the level of satisfaction. We always up to any challenge, and we get excited when design and plan for solving the issues.
And lastly, why I mentioned the quote about power and responsibility and linking that to service. You know, service can help instill a sense of social responsibility and compassion when delivering any task. But some customers, they might have or might be having a lack of appreciation for the service and how it starts, how it ends. So that's quite a common issue. Could you talk about that and tell us more about the context of service management, how we dealt with that?
Yeah, agree. And indeed, the service role always installing the sense of social responsibility. And for the lack of customer appreciation, we have seen many times this, and some customer really difficult to be satisfied and have lack of appreciation. But to me, in my view, it's normal, as each customer has a different character, different personality, mainly having a different level of expectation, even if it is defined within the SLA. But still, the expectation always from the customer is high. But in another hand, the skills of service provider play a role in this area, where he should be more understanding and building the trust between him and the customer. And of course, I believe, and I have seen this, by the time the relation and the appreciation will come.
Thank you so much, Zakriya. It's been a pleasure sitting down with you here today and discussing these amazing concepts and wonderful journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Zubair. Thanks so much.